Welcome, Cinepals. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by Andrew Flash Gordon.
What's up?
We are continuing on with our binge watch of Season 2 of DERRY Girls, Episode 5 this time. Thanks so much for joining us again. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see a cut-down version of our reaction because we can only show you a limited amount of picture-in-picture. But if you want to watch the whole thing with us, no cuts, no interruptions, head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/JabbyKuwait, or become a member of this channel where you'll get access to the full, uncut reaction. But you'll need your own Netflix subscription so you can open up each episode in an adjacent window to our reaction. We'll give you a 3-2-1 countdown sync, and it'll be like you're watching it with two of your favorite pals from the internet. Now, if you're watching this on Patreon or memberships already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go. By the way, the blue light behind us, this was unplanned. Achara messed with it for some odd reason. We have this remote that controls the upstairs set and the downstairs set. She started pushing the button in the middle of us shooting our Mario trailer reaction, and I'm just like, what the hell? Why? I was freaking out for a second. So this was unplanned. We didn't mean to put blue on blue. It is what it is. They're in the middle of shooting. I'm not going to interrupt them. It's fine. I'm not rude. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. Just on top of it, and it's moving.
It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning.
I always think of Back to the Future when I hear that song.
Brand new day. It's Monday morning. It's Monday. There ain't nothing.
Do you ever think you might have too much time in your hands, girls? Firstly, I'd like to introduce May Chung. Miss Chung's family have recently moved here to Derry.
The only Asian.
It's bound to be a bit of a culture shock, May. Things are done differently in this part of the world. But I'm sure you'll see.
She clears fares.
But before you don your glad rags and boogie on down, we're not gonna have a school formal. We're gonna have doobie 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 doobie. Old school retro vintage vibe, so feel free to just go for it.
Feel free to kiss my hole.
Wow.
There she is. Okay, so I say we just go over there and be
Oh my God.
not totally ourselves. We should definitely be a bit ourselves.
Treat her
We
like
could
a
also pretend we're
human.
Sort of better.
Why do we even have to talk to her?
I mean, how class would it be to have a Chinese friend?
She joins a group, James has to leave.
Of course. Finally.
Excuse me?
She's
She's gonna speak
just
English.
fine.
Yeah.
Is she all right? Burn fee, Claire?
It's Cantonese.
Dull white girls want to be to join their gang because, well,
We're not dull.
sure.
And I'm actually a boy.
Well, she has a really f***ed up accent.
Maybe we don't need a Chinese person. We've already got a lesbian.
What? You don't look like a lesbian.
What do you mean?
Just that you're a bit short.
Well, there's no height restrictions, as far as I'm aware. Howdy, folks.
Christ.
I'm Jenny. She's ours. Sack. Off.
Yeah.
Oh, and FYI, the prom queen vote closes today.
FY, nobody gives a shit.
Well, this prom's going to be a full-blown dick fest. You know there isn't even going to be a DJ.
I love that Claire was so aggressive.
It's a Doctor Who night. Me and my stepdad used to watch it when I was little.
Well, someone should have called to just say,
I was going to ask you to be my date.
I'm sorry, Claire.
you were going to ask James to be your date. What the f***'s wrong with you?
You're a lesbian, Claire, not desperate. I'd be proud to have you in my arm.
Thank you.
Oh, God. John Paul's over there. Christ, but it's been so awkward since we broke up.
For f***'s sake, Aaron, I kissed you on the cheek at Kerry Coyle's 16th birthday party. And then passed out in a pub. I'm sure the fact that he's poking a model, some consolation.
It's so loud.
I heard she's going to be on Baywatch. She's not going to be on Baywatch, Orla. They don't have people from Derry on Baywatch, okay? We're just too pasty.
Oh my God.
What?
It looks like they're breaking up.
Need us anymore.
What?
Jesus. Are they really? Are they breaking up?
Now she's gonna want him to be her date.
Later.
Aaron, what are you doing?
She has no respect for herself. I'm coming from me.
That is bad.
Exactly. Hey! Hey!
Jesus Christ.
Sorry. What happened there was, well, I slightly misjudged the level of my own voice, I think. Everything okay? Sure. I couldn't help but notice that you and Cara were sort of breaking up a bit there.
It was definitely a mutual thing.
What you should do is take your mind off it.
How?
Go out with me. We're going to this prom thing on Saturday night. It's actually very informal.
I don't care if you're going to the prom with John Paul II, Aaron. I'm not buying you another frock.
You don't understand.
There's nothing wrong with your Easter dress.
There is lots of things wrong with my Easter dress.
I mean, it matches Orla's.
That being the main one.
This document is an insult to the majority of people.
Is that Oxford?
The picture's just gone a bit sort of... Dear Jesus.
You have to give it a bit of a shock now and again.
He's gonna break it.
For God's sake, Jerry!
He's been footering.
Excuse me, you're the one that was thumping it repeatedly, Joe.
I'll thump you repeatedly.
It's just you don't sound happy for me.
Well, I am. I'm over the moon.
Great, because me and John Paul are just at a really crucial point in our relationship.
A crucial point.
What's happening?
Erin's just sat Claire's the prom day so she could take a fella she fancies.
Come with me.
Really?
Really?
Really? It'll be a laugh. And I'm definitely an upgrade. Just a wee
Damn.
It was dead funny.
Now that May has officially joined the group, we need to give James his notice. I personally think a week's more than generous.
Me too.
Hola.
Oh, I'm sorry, James, but Chinese people are just better than English people.
Damn.
Look, we'll just whack a couple of dresses on it, don't take the labels off, wear them to prom, then return them the next day.
They better hope nothing happens to them.
What do you think of this one?
I'm not sure, she really.
Good. I don't want to be me.
Has to be the blue.
Yeah, I thought the blue. Have you decided who you're bringing yet?
Well, I've narrowed it down to two. There's big Johnny Kales who works in Dunn's. I have heard he is really good with his hands. I'm not talking about putting up shelves, girls. I'm talking about...
Everybody knows what you're talking about, Michelle.
This is cracker too.
Oh my god. Oh god, do you remember those credit card machines?
Can I try that one, please?
Sorry, love, that's been left over for someone.
What?
Hiya!
Oh my god.
I want that dress, Jenny.
Well, you can't have it.
Bitch. I cannot believe she wouldn't even let me try it on.
Yeah, well, she did leave it over, so...
She still knew it'd look better on you.
Exactly.
Oh, Aaron's getting jealous.
He's one of us now, Aaron.
Mason Arsenal.
That's out of order, Aaron. She's Chinese, for God's sake.
I don't need this. I'm going.
Good?
Grand.
Great.
Fine.
Oh no.
Went the wrong way.
What's this?
It's some guidelines, things you are and aren't allowed to say to John Paul when he gets here.
What time's your date arriving at, Ola, love?
She's already here.
You're looking well, Joe.
There's no doubt, shade you talk, Jerry.
John Paul's picking me up at 7. You go on. We'll see you there.
Oh no. Oh, that is borrowed straight from I Love Lucy.
Is he not gonna come?
No.
Jenny's done some number in here.
Dick. Let's just say she'll be wearing red, all right?
Oh no.
Nobody crosses me, Claire.
Damn. She's wicked.
It's okay, she's Chinese.
You didn't bring boys to prom, did you, Michelle?
I couldn't make up my mind.
Oh my god.
Don't f***ing keep put.
Imagine that, it's almost like they have their own free will.
Yeah. Oh man. I do feel bad for her actually, but she did this to herself. Wow. The outfits look like Back to the Future.
Definitely do.
Well, I see you're hanging out with May.
That's right.
So I know May from back home.
From China.
No, Donegal. Did she ever tell you why she had to leave?
Had to
Uh-oh. She got kicked out?
Yeah. She's clearly like a troublemaker.
Just go on your own.
I'm gonna go and change.
No, just go. Really? I had a feeling.
Should we go?
I love this.
Can you give me 1 minute?
That's sweet.
She's gonna change into something, yeah.
It's like a scene right out of Friends.
Never watched it.
Oh, don't tell me. Wank feature stood you up?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
No, I'm sorry. You were right. I was jealous. May's just so cool and exotic, and you liked her so much.
She's deranged.
Nah.
He said she's seriously unhinged. I think he's a bit pissed off with her, to be honest, and I can't blame him because she's given the Chinese population in Donegal a really bad rap. She was talking about how she wasn't going to let Jenny get away with the whole prom queen thing.
Jesus Christ, look. Above the stage, look. She's not
Carrie.
gonna do a Carrie.
What's a Carrie? What does that mean?
You've never seen Carrie?
I haven't.
Expand and explain.
Carrie is voted prom queen, and this bully pours a bucket of pig's blood on her.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, lots of other stuff happens too, but that's the sort of relevant bit.
It's time to crown our...
She looks so scary.
And tonight's main story again. The IRA have called a ceasefire.
Oh.
And our prom queen is... Jenny Joyce!
Oh, God. You're gonna take the... Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
It's Bridge blood! It's Bridge blood!
No, I think it's tomato juice.
What the f*** am I supposed to do? You'll never take this back now!
Peace.
Oh, zombies.
Wow, that's an interesting contrast, seeing like they're fighting all in the gym, but like then there's actual in the real world, like the actual serious stuff, like now there's peace. So it's I really love the contrast there between the two.
I don't know, because I don't fully know the scope of the history on all that. I asked my friend to text me, but she hasn't gotten back to me about it yet, who actually is the one that told me to watch this show. Because her whole thing is she wants to give me like the most accurate facts possible and not give me, anything half-baked. So basically what I'm saying is not knowing the full scope of the history there with the conflict, in my mind that reads as the fighting is just getting started. Like if I didn't know anything at all, which I don't, that's where my mind goes, is the fighting's just getting started or it's continuing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in regards to the episode, I really like this episode a lot. There were some things in there and some themes that I found very fascinating. I really liked how, just the group, they were like, obviously when I say acting not within themselves, obviously we see them always doing wacky things that always have consequences, of course. But just in regards to this episode, I liked how, like, for instance, we had Erin. She wanted to get back with her ex-boyfriend, didn't care how the rest of the group felt.
I mean, that's a generous way to put it. Ex-boyfriend, they didn't do anything. But yes,
whoever that guy was, and didn't care about what the rest of the group thought. She already had told Claire she would go, be a good friend, and obviously there were ramifications on that, and she started acting jealous. And then you had Michelle. She wanted to be with she brought 2 dates with her. And then James, he went off and did his thing at the convention. And then with Claire, she wanted to go with this person, May, who she knew nothing about, but just, because she was Chinese, just like, hey, yeah, we'll accept you into our group. So I thought there was a lot of different fascinating things going on with all the characters in regards to this episode. But then at the end, it's like, no, there's a collective understanding, like, no, we're the group. I like that there's still that bondsmanship between them. Like, no matter what happens, there's an understanding that, yeah, we're friends to the end.
I want to read this just so we can, like, gain some insight here. It says here, what you need to know about the Troubles. The Trouble is a term used to describe a period of conflict in Northern Ireland that lasted about 30 years, from the late 60s until the Good Friday Agreement in 1998. And it's not 98 yet.
It's 95, right?
So there's 3 more years to go. However, the origins of the Troubles can be traced back hundreds of years, beginning as early as 17th century. 2 groups emerged in Ireland with differing political and religious outlooks. Catholics predominantly consider themselves Irish and hold nationalist views. They want an independent Ireland free of British control. Protestants identify largely as British and Unionist, meaning they wish to remain linked to the United Kingdom. Easter Rising, this is 1916. This goes way back. And then the partition of Ireland in 1919. The arrival of the British Army. I feel like I'd have to really take some time aside to get the full grasp of what we're looking at here, because I don't want to spend the entire review just going over this. By 1997, both the Provisional IRA and the Loyalist paramilitaries had called ceasefires, and the majority of the main parties of Northern Ireland were at the negotiating table. The Good Friday Agreement. So that's all the way. So we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, but this is what we had just touched.
Okay.
And so
is it 97 then in the show? Because I thought it was 95, right?
I don't know. It could be the things that lead to 97. Okay. I'm not sure. As soon as I hear back from my friend, whatever she tells me will be incorporated into one of our discussions. So I apologize that we don't know more about the background on this. I think that actually makes our perspective on this just different and a little bit more interesting. It's like, how do two people who don't know anything about the conflict in Ireland at all receive this programming? It's like, what kind of information are we getting? Obviously, the target audience initially is Ireland, Irish people, right? Who are very well aware of this conflict, and they're being seen for the first time through a show like this, at least in terms of like Netflix and media and stuff like that. For me, it's an interesting experience to be like, okay, what, not knowing too much, what's happening here, and you're sort of discovering whatever is going on in the background with the show. I mean, it's just an interesting experience for me. It's a wee way to discover what's going on in North Ireland.
Yeah, definitely.
But to what you were saying, this was a lot of fun, and it touched on that whole thing about ignorance. That's just, they play right into it every single time. Like, they thought she was from China, and I knew that wasn't going to be the case. Mm-hmm. I knew it was like a Cho Chang kind of situation where it's like she's just Asian, she's not from China. I wonder if the reason why they included another Asian character was to avoid having the only Asian character that showed up be negative. It's almost like, I don't want to make any comparisons. I think that's just a thing that Hollywood does. You gotta balance it out somehow. I almost wish that she was a character that was gonna stick around because she's just different.
I kind of thought that too.
Yeah, she was more punchy as a character. She seemed like a wild card. Like, you didn't know what she was capable of. And lo and behold, she pulls a move like Joker. It's just like, what? Or Harley Quinn. It's just crazy town. Who would do something like that?
Over a dress.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see it, like, when she was like, I want that dress.
That's what I liked about her character, because at first it's like she comes off as suave and cool and debonair, and then all of a sudden, like, you get these little seeds, and I'm like, no, there's a lot more layers to her, and she's like got like a dark side to her. Mm-hmm. And they kept on leading to it and leading. Like, it started out in the clothing store and then just kept on building and building and building. And then when you got that conversation with the guy, I went to her school with her, and then I knew that was going to take a dark turn with Claire, where she was going to learn get some dirt on her. I think this episode also did a good job because we talk about the comedy and then also the drama side of it when it comes to the conflict that's happening in the real world stuff. Mm-hmm. I think this episode also emphasized that this can be very heartwarming too. Like, that moment where James showed up for her after the mom called. Like, that's what I really love about this show, is there's a really good nuance of balance in this show. Like, I mean, obviously the comedy is up here for sure. It's obviously a lot more focused on that, but it can still do a good job of focusing on the real world stuff and then also get back to feeling heartwarming as well, and on top of all the relatable stuff. But that was one of my favorite moments in all the 6 + 5, 11 episodes that we've watched so far. That's one of my favorite moments, where James showed up like that to comfort and be there for his friend. I mean,
it was unexpected.
You got to remember too, like, they have dunked on James 50 trillion times, as many times as Joe has dunked on Jerry.
He's English. He deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just joking.
But the point is, like, for James to still like come there and I'm gonna be here for my friend. Yeah, it just shows what a wonderful guy is. And just again, the writers and the execution and the direction. Just again, it was just a beautiful, heartwarming moment. And I was well executed.
They have not hinted at all at James having a crush on anybody yet.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Aaron,
at all. But the Friends reference for me is, Ross being there for Rachel when her date was seeming to flake out on her. It was like all the Friends characters were watching a flashback video.
Yeah.
And she was about to be stood up, and Rachel never knew that Ross actually got dressed in a tux for her to accompany to her prom.
Yeah.
Only for her date to then just show up, and Ross is there left standing looking like a dummy and feels like just sad, like, because he watches Rachel run out the door. So it would have been like way on the nose if her date showed up at that point.
I've only watched a few episodes here and there. I haven't watched the whole scope of Friends, but I mean, it makes sense too that they were, if this reference was into Friends, because again, this takes place around the 95-96 year, and I believe
that's
Friends
true.
is pretty relevant at that point in time. So
relevant,
did I say relevant?
Yeah,
relevant at that point in time. So
no, you're right. That is true. I don't know if it's a Friends reference, but it just like immediately my brain went there.
Yeah.
And the dress as well. It's like, again, I don't know if it's an I Love Lucy reference, but there was a whole thing where in I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball had a dress that was too tight. She couldn't sit down, so she had to stand and eat.
It kind of reminded me, again, obviously, this film came out after the time period that this takes place, but just like a woman being so uncomfortable in the dress. Pirates of the Caribbean. Elizabeth Swann, she's in a dress that is beyond uncomfortable, and she's like literally choking on. Johnny Depp has to save her and like get rid of part of the dress so she can breathe again. The British officer says, I never would have thought of that. And he goes, clearly you've never been to Singapore. But that's where I got that, like, just not feeling comfortable in a dress type of thing.
I knew at some point she was going to have to get rid of it and go back to the other outfit, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, they made a whole point about it. And the show doesn't have a lot in the way of fat. It's like everything that comes up generally has some kind of meaning that's going to circle back around.
Yeah.
And the last one got me the most, with the guy who was pushed out of the line, and it turned out like that one move set a bunch of other domino effect of other things in motion. It was an interesting episode, and it was nicely tied back into the real world events, which I saw coming. As soon as the TV started acting goofy, I was like, I feel like when that starts working again, or somehow something about this TV is going to tie us back into something going on in real life, which it did. So my question to the audience, because I know there's a lot of newcomers to our channel who are from those parts of the world, and thank you, welcome, I'm glad to have you here. I want to know if you're old enough to remember those events, what was it like when you saw that on TV, an indication of the IRA, agreeing to a ceasefire for what I imagine is the first time. So would love to know all your feelings about that experience in the comments. I do read them and appreciate all the love that we're getting. Thanks so much for hanging out. Really appreciate y'all. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is
Andrew Flash Gordon.
Peace.